That's why there's more than one approach to value, right? Today we're going to talk about looking at spec homes and why that can play so importantly into the valuation of a home.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
When it comes to valuation, there is so many aspects to it. That's why there's more than one approach to value, right? Today we're going to talk about looking at spec homes and why that can play so importantly into the valuation of a home. Folks, I don't know what you're using to manage your business, but if you're not using ANOW software, you are not using the best software out there for appraisal business management. Check them out. Go to anow.com/coach. One more time, it's anow.com/coach. Okay, folks. A good judge of where value lies as compared to costs, okay? There are two different things. We've talked about it on this program multiple times, and you as a valuation professional already understand all of this stuff, right? But a good judge of where value comes from is to look at what builders are doing. Why? Because builders are not stupid, right? Well, some of them are. Builders are in this for a living, okay? They are going to try to make a living. They're going to try to do things that will bring them value. In other words, they walk into any situation and they say, what is it going to cost me to do this? And what is the likelihood of value that I'm going to receive on the flip side of that, right? In most markets, there's a handful of really big builders, okay, who do dozens or maybe hundreds of homes per year, right? You know who they are. As I say that, you've had two or three names pop to your head already. They will often do spec homes as well as custom homes. Okay, big one in my area is a company. I'm not going to use their name, but they do hundreds of homes every single year, and they do a lot of, when I say custom homes, I mean people come and they pick out their plan and they pick out their colors and they pick out this, that, and the other. But for the most part, there's not a whole lot of tweaking. That's why they're able to keep their costs down. But they also do a fair amount of custom homes because they have the contractors to do so and they want to keep them busy. But every once in a while, you see them bring to the market spec homes. Well, you can view what popular items are going into a spec home. You can also get a pretty good idea of what brings value. Why? Again, because a builder is going to go out of business. And when I say builders are not stupid, what I'm talking about is if they are stupid, they don't stay around. I mean, Darwinism is alive and well in the building business. If you don't make smart decisions, meaning the cost that you put into something is going to be lower than the value you get back out of it, you can't do that very often. And then you see 2009, 2010 all over again, right? With spec homes being on the market for years and years and years afterwards. Okay, so as a valuation professional, are you paying attention to what popular items are going into spec homes? Why is this important? Why do you care about this, Dustin? Just go out and get your 3 comps and you're done, okay? Because I hope, appraisers, that you are looking at your appraisal business as a business. And I hope that you are looking at yourself as a valuation professional, because that is what you are. That is what's going to float you through the next few years. Okay, let me make it very, very clear, be very clear on this program. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. The job as you know it, the real estate appraiser, as you know him or her today, will not exist in 3 years. What you're used to now is changing. It's evolving. And you have a choice. You can evolve or you can go open up a coffee shop. Okay, what you're doing now is not going to work in the future. And so what I'm trying to do with this program is help appraisers, first of all, kind of see what's going on big picture, but also small picture, micromanage their office and say, what can I do about it? And one of the things you can do about it is understanding valuation inside and out, not just about comparables, not just about adjustments, not just about reconciliation, but truly understanding what value is and where it comes from. And one of the things that you can do as a real estate professional is to pay attention. Folks, we're in people's houses and you see trends, right? You see trends and just like styles of clothes. Now, maybe not as quickly as clothes, but you see styles come in and out of fashion. And it's usually those fashionable things that you need to kind of pay attention to and understand where value comes from. For example, Years ago, basements were not finished in any spec home in my area. Why? Well, because it cost more to finish a basement. Now, a lot of you are in areas that you don't have basements. I get that. But just go with me on this. It would cost more per square foot to finish a basement than spec home builders would get back out in value. And so they would build basements. Sure, they would dig them out and they would pour the foundations, and the basements are there, and 8 foot, 9 foot, sometimes 10 foot ceilings, but they're not going to finish them off. They're just going to leave them empty. Well, that started changing. That started changing actually before the crash. Why? Because there was such competition out there with so many spec home builders out there. What they were saying is, hey, you go to my competition and you're going to get an unfinished basement. You come to you come to me and you're going to pay the exact same, and we're going to finish out the living room downstairs, the family room, okay? So you saw a lot of 40% finished basements. And it helped to sell the house, and it increased the value beyond the cost because of the competition out there. And now I'm actually seeing spec homes, some, not a lot, but some spec homes with finished basements. These are examples of trends that you see because of what's going on with supply and demand, because of what's going on with cost versus value. These are things that as appraisers we need to pay attention to, so that when our clients and our customers come to us and say, hey, Dustin, I'm thinking about finishing my basement. What do you think? Well, 10 years ago, I would have said, bad idea. It's going to cost you more. That's going to bring in value. Not so much anymore. Folks, I don't know if you are paying attention, but I'm pretty high on ANOW software. Why? Folks, because I use it every damn day of my life. Sorry, I don't know if you can say the word damn in a testimonial, but I just did. ANOW is the way that I manage my entire appraisal office at any moment. I just did it right before I jumped on the air. I was wondering about a report. Why haven't I seen that come across today? Jumped on ANOW. Literally, it took me about 6 seconds from the time I thought of it to the time I had an answer, because it's right there on my smartphone. I can pull it up. I start typing the address. It pops up automatically, and the notes are all there. I know what's going on. I know what's going on with every report. You should be as well. It's called ANOW, and you can find it at anow.com/coach. One more time, anow.com/coach. All right, folks, today we're talking a little bit about, paying attention to what's going on in your market, and specifically with spec homes. What can a spec home or a series of spec homes teach you about your local market? I think a lot, mainly because builders are in it for the money. And this whole thing of cost versus value, a lot of times what you see in spec homes is representative of what the value is in the market, okay? So if everybody's building a deck and you're the only one without a deck, that might affect value more than, hey, some have them, some don't. Cost about $8,000 to put a deck in. It's going to, net you back, whatever, the case may be, fill in the blank, right? But here's the thing. Not all improvements need to be value-based. Let me repeat that. Not all now, for an appraiser's perspective, sure. But I'm talking from a consultant perspective. And I'm not even necessarily talking about pure professional consulting, meaning you've hired me for a job and I'm going to come out and consult for you, right? There's that. But I'm just talking in general, walking around someone's house during the observation and they say, hey, Dustin, thinking about doing this. What do you think? Okay. Let me give you an example. I recently finished my own basement. Okay. I live in a neighborhood with very few basements, by the way, but we wanted a finished basement. Now, as an appraiser, I've got to be against it, because when I step back and I actually look at value and the finished versus unfinished basements in my area where I live, really the cost to finish the basement was going to be more than the value that we got back out of it. So why did I do it? Well, because I'm not always wearing an appraiser hat. Sometimes I'm wearing that homeowner hat. And yeah, as a homeowner, I'm pulling out the checkbook because I need the utility that comes from the finished basement. And the utility in this case overrode the cost or the lack of value that I received in return. So as you're consulting with other homeowners throughout the area and they come to you and with questions, sometimes you have to explain that, the cost in this case is probably going to exceed the value, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. If somebody says, hey, Dustin, I want to build a barn, is that going to give me a lot of value? The answer may be, well, no, but maybe you need a barn. Maybe you've got 5 horses that are out there in the weather and they need a barn, right? Sometimes it's not all about the value. Folks, I'll tell you what it is all about as business owners, though, every single day, and that is, are you making a buck? Are you making more than you're spending? That's really what it's all about every day. And I can help you to do that through the All-Star team. It's an 8-page color newsletter, comes to you every single month, as well as in audio format. That's right, in audio format, where I'm telling you and teaching you all of the great things that you should be doing to your appraisal business to make it more profitable. Join me, please. Go to theappraisercoach.com and just click on memberships, and we will see you inside the All-Star team.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.
Folks, I don't know what you're using for your valuation. Sorry, editor.